Hi, this is McCoy Buck, and in this video, we're going to start adding bones to our character. So right off the bat, we make this a little bit easier for you by adding this joint outline right here. That way you can see where all the bones are going to be placed. However, for this tutorial, we're not going to be doing the fingers. So one of the things that you need to do to add your bones is you're going to come here to this tool right here. This little plus icon is your Create Tools. If you click it, it's going to expand, giving you 3 options. Like I said before, definitely memorize those keyboard shortcuts as they will help quicken your process when rigging and animating. So one of the first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a root bone. Now this particular video is for those that are already familiar with root bones. However, in the next few videos, I'll be covering a lot more of this process that I'm showing you now. For right now, just follow along and do exactly as I do. So the first root bone that we're going to create is for the hip. So I'm simply just going to click to create my root bone. This diamond shape lets me know that my root bone has been created. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click here in his neck area. And you can see if I zoom in that this has created a bone. Now the root bone is going to be shown by a diamond, but a bone that's going to be connected to the root bone will be shown by a circle. So to continue this chain of bones, I'm simply going to click once more for the neck and again for the head. And as you can see there, the middle pieces between the bones, which are called the joints, are circles instead of diamonds. Now for the arms, I want to connect them to the torso bone. So I'm simply going to select the torso bone, and now I'm going to create a new set of root bones, separate from this chain of bones. And I'm going to do that again simply by clicking once, clicking again, and clicking again. And just like that, I created a new set of bones. Again, for my other arm, I'm going to first select the chest, making sure that's highlighted. I'm now going to click on this point, and this point. Again, like I said, I'm not going to do anything with the fingers. Now for the next section, I'm going to do the legs. Again, I'm going to click on the torso area because now I want to create my own root bone. So now I'm going to click on this section right here, 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 and here for the foot. Again, I'm going to click on my torso bone to create my root bone. I'm going to create it here, next bone here, next bone here, and next bone here. So now what we're going to do to make sure that everything is connected properly, I'm going to go into this icon right here. This is my visibility. What I want to do is I want to turn my images off because what I'm going to be testing real quick is the bones themselves. Now if I click again, it's going to remove the images completely. But as you can see, as I just clicked it once, it just shows a little faded image, and that's perfect. Now the next tool I'm going to use is rotation tool. This is R on the keyboard, and this is good whenever you're doing rotation using forward kinematics. NIMA supports both forward and inverse kinematics. If you don't know what that is, that's totally fine. I will also have a video separate for that so you can learn more about forward and inverse kinematics and why it's important to know those things. So let's go ahead and let's use R on the keyboard for the rotation tool, and let's come here to the hip. So if I did everything, imagine that everything now is connected to this torso bone. Because I don't have a pelvic bone or a bone separating this torso area here, watch what happens as I rotate this bone. Everything moves with it. For right now, that is totally fine. Later on, we're going to create targets that will keep the feet planted on the ground. But for right now, if your character is doing this as you rotate that torso bone, that is perfect. Next, we want to come over to the skeleton bone. We want to come and test the arm. So again, I'm going to rotate the arm. And now you can see that the arm is rotating separate from the rest of the body. Likewise for the other arm, it's going to be rotating separate from the rest of the body. If I then go to the leg, I can also see that it's going to be separated, as well as the other leg. It's going to be separated. So far, everything is working exactly as it should. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come to what's called the IK pose tool, and that is K on the keyboard, or this icon right here. So go ahead and select your IK pose tool. Now come over here to your bones, holding down shift, select the torso bone, the neck bone, and the head bone. Now using this tool, I'm going to grab the top head and I'm just going to drag it from left to right. And now what you can see here is the head, as it's moving backwards and forwards, it's also affecting the rest of the body. And the reason why is because it's using inverse kinematics, which is affecting the head to the neck to the torso. Again, in another video, I'll explain this so it's a lot more clear. All that you need to know right now is if your skeleton is doing the exact same thing as my skeleton, then everything is correct. In the next few videos, there's a couple things that I want to explain that I didn't touch on here, such as the difference between a root bone versus a regular bone. I want to talk more about the hierarchy panel and what's going on here as I'm laying out my bones. However, if you're already familiar with animation softwares and know what's going on there in the hierarchy, you can skip those videos and get right into setting up the target. As always, if you have any questions, be sure and ask those in the forum. That's exactly what it's for, and I will see you in the next video.